My friends, too often in life we are told to find ourselves, as if who we are is some hidden treasure buried in the sands of time, waiting to be discovered. But hear me today, you are not lost property. You are not a mystery waiting to be solved. You are a creator, carrying within you the seeds of purpose, vision, and destiny. When God placed you on this earth, He did not send you here to simply stumble into an identity. No, He entrusted you with the authority to shape your identity, to design your future, and to become the person you were meant to be. Look around at history's great men and women. Ordinary people who created extraordinary lives. A farmer's son became a president. A woman born in poverty became a global voice for justice. A child once rejected by the world rose to become a leader of nations. They did not wait to find themselves. They built themselves, brick by brick, decision by decision. They carved out a destiny that changed the world. And so must you. You must take responsibility for your life. Don't let your past define you. Don't let your environment limit you. Don't let fear silence you. If you don't like the story you've been handed, then rewrite it. Create a new chapter, create a new path, create a new you. Yes, the journey will be difficult. There will be moments when you stumble, times when you are misunderstood, seasons when the world feels heavy. But it is in those very moments that perseverance shapes your character. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. They are forged under pressure. And you, my friend, were designed to shine. So rise up. Dream boldly, take action with courage. Believe in the possibility of tomorrow, even when today feels uncertain. Your destiny is not to be discovered, it is to be created. As you leave here, remember this: the future does not belong to those who sit and wait. The future belongs to those who dare to create it. So don't just find yourself, create yourself, because within you lies the power to change your world, and perhaps even to change the world of others. My friends, I want to begin with a truth that may sound simple, but it carries the power to transform the way you see your life. You are not lost property. You are not a misplaced item waiting to be found. You are not wandering the earth hoping someone or something will finally claim you and tell you who you are. From the moment you were born, you were not simply dropped into this world like a coin tossed into the ocean. You were planted here with intention. There is a difference. A coin tossed is forgotten, but a seed planted is nurtured, watered, and expected to grow. You are that seed, and within you lies a unique design that is not waiting to be discovered somewhere out there. It is waiting to be created from within. Too often people spend their entire lives searching for themselves, as if their identity is hiding behind a rock or buried under a pile of circumstances. They say, I need to find myself. But how do you find what was never lost? That language is misleading. You were never misplaced. You are not a puzzle scattered across time, waiting for someone else to put the pieces together. The truth is, your life is not about finding. It is about creating. Think about this: a sculptor does not find the statue hidden in the marble. No, he creates it. With vision, with intention, with discipline, he carves away until the image in his heart becomes the reality in his hands. That is who you are. You are the sculptor of your own destiny. Every decision you make is a cut, a shape, a movement toward the masterpiece you are becoming. You must understand, the creator of the universe did not send you here by accident. He placed within you raw material, your gifts, your talents, your passions, your imagination. But raw material alone is not enough. Gold in the ground is still just dirt until someone digs it out, refines it, and shapes it into value. In the same way, your potential is not waiting to be found outside of you. It is waiting to be drawn out, refined, and shaped into greatness by your own hands. And here is the challenge. It is easier to wait for someone else to define you than to take responsibility for creating yourself. That's why people keep looking outward, asking, who am I? They hope a job will tell them. They hope society will tell them. They hope relationships will tell them. But no matter how far they search, they come up empty because identity is not discovered. It is designed. I want you to imagine a blank canvas. If you stare at it long enough, you will see nothing. But the painter who picks up a brush and begins to stroke color onto that canvas is the one who brings beauty to life. That canvas is your life, and you are the painter. Every choice you make, every habit you form, every risk you take, every dream you dare to chase, it is all painted on the canvas of who you are becoming. When you truly embrace this, you stop waiting for permission to live. You stop waiting for life to hand you meaning. Instead, you rise up and say, I will create meaning. I will design my future. I will shape my identity. That is when you stop being a wanderer and become a creator. And hear me, this does not mean the process is easy. It requires courage. It requires perseverance. It requires vision. There will be voices that tell you who you cannot be, circumstances that try to trap you in limitation, and even your own doubts whispering, you are not enough. But creators are not stopped by limitation. They innovate around it. They don't wait for resources. They create with what they have. They don't wait for opportunities. They carve them out of the stone in front of them. History is full of such creators. The man born in a shack who went on to lead nations. The young woman once silenced by society who became a voice for freedom. They were not lost, hoping to be found. They were builders, daring to create themselves despite the odds. And their courage to create gave birth to legacies that still inspire us today. So, you must change the way you see yourself. Stop walking through life as if you are a missing person waiting to be discovered. Stand tall, because you are not lost property, you are a creator. The pen is in your hand, the brush is in your grip, the chisel is ready at your side. The question is not, when will I find myself? The question is, what will I create with what I have been given? Greatness is one of the most misunderstood words in the world today. Many people treat greatness as if it is a hidden treasure chest buried deep in the sand, waiting to be stumbled upon by accident. They imagine that one day, without effort, without discipline, without sacrifice, they will suddenly find greatness. But hear me, greatness is not something you stumble upon. Greatness is not discovered. It is created. Every man and woman you admire, every figure in history you read about, every leader whose story inspires you, did not wake up one morning and find greatness lying on their doorstep. They created it. They crafted it. They built it one choice, one habit, one sacrifice at a time. Think of a builder standing before an empty plot of land. There is no house there, no structure, nothing to admire. But in his mind, he sees it, the blueprint of what could be. So he begins to work, brick by brick, wall by wall. He labors until one day the vision in his mind stands in front of him as reality. That is how greatness is made. It is not found, it is constructed. Too many of us sit on the sidelines of life, waiting for greatness to show up at our door. We tell ourselves, if only I had better circumstances, if only I had more money, if only I had the right connections, then greatness would find me. But greatness is not attracted to excuses. It is built through responsibility. It is born when you take what little you have, what little you know, and begin to create something bigger than yourself. Consider the farmer. He does not find a harvest lying in the field. He must first till the soil, plant the seed, protect it, water it, and wait with patience. Only then does the field yield fruit. In the same way, greatness is not a harvest you find lying around. It is the result of seeds you intentionally plant and nurture over time. Think of Thomas Edison, who gave us the electric light bulb. He did not find an invention one morning. He created it after failing thousands of times, refusing to give up until the glow of his idea lit the world. Consider Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced defeat after defeat, loss after loss. He was not born into greatness. He created greatness by turning every setback into a stepping stone until he became a president whose words still inspire generations. Even in our everyday lives, greatness is created in the small acts. The single mother working 2 jobs to keep her children in school, she is creating greatness. The young man who refuses to give in to peer pressure and instead commits to a vision for his future, he is creating greatness. The teacher who stays late after class to help a struggling student, she is creating greatness. Greatness is not a destination you stumble into. It is a process, a deliberate act of becoming. And the most powerful truth is this: greatness is within the reach of every human being, not because it is waiting to be found, but because it can be created by those who are willing to pay the price. And what is the price? Discipline, perseverance, vision. The courage to rise again after failure. The humility to learn when you do not know. The persistence to keep building when no one is applauding. That is the price of greatness. And every person has the ability to pay it if they choose. But here lies the danger when people believe greatness must be found. They spend their lives searching instead of building. They chase opportunities instead of creating them. They envy the success of others instead of cultivating their own. And in the end, they waste their potential, not because they lack the ability, but because they misunderstood the nature of greatness. So I challenge you to change your mindset. Stop waiting to discover greatness somewhere outside of yourself. Stop believing it is hidden in another country, another career, another person. Begin to recognize that greatness is already in your hands. It is in your daily decisions, your habits, your persistence, your faith. It is in your willingness to start with what you have, where you are, and to create something extraordinary out of the ordinary. History has shown us that ordinary people become extraordinary not because they stumbled upon greatness, but because they chose to create it. They understood that the raw material for greatness is not found in luck, but in responsibility, vision, and relentless action. And if they could do it, so can you. If you want to understand the starting point of destiny, it is not luck, it is not luck, it is not even talent. The foundation of every great life is responsibility. Responsibility is the first step to destiny. We live in a world where people are quick to blame. Blame their upbringing, blame their parents, blame society, blame the economy, blame circumstances. And yes, those things are real. Yes, they shape us. Yes, they influence us. But listen carefully. While circumstances may shape the beginning of your story, only responsibility can shape the ending of it. Responsibility is the bridge that carries you from potential to fulfillment. You see, potential is like a seed. Every seed has the capacity to become a tree, to bear fruit, to provide shade, to multiply itself. But potential will never manifest unless someone takes responsibility to plant it, water it, protect it, and cultivate it. In the same way, your life is filled with seeds of potential. But if you do not take responsibility for them, they remain locked away, unfulfilled, unrealized. Responsibility means refusing to hand over the pen of your life to someone else. It means saying, I will not wait for others to define my future. I will not wait for luck to determine my destiny. I take ownership of my choices, my actions, my growth, my path. That is when destiny begins to unfold. Think about this. The moment a young man or woman accepts responsibility, something shifts inside of them. A child may blame, but an adult accepts responsibility. Responsibility is the mark of maturity. It is the moment you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what can I do about it? That shift in perspective is the doorway to destiny. Throughout history, those who changed the world were people who embraced responsibility. Martin Luther King Jr. could have said, injustice is too big. Racism is too strong. Let someone else deal with it. But he didn't. He accepted responsibility for being a voice, even when it cost him. Nelson Mandela could have lived quietly, forgotten in the corner of oppression. But he took responsibility for a vision of freedom. And even prison could not break that responsibility. Mother Teresa could have ignored the cries of the poor and left the work to others. But she took responsibility for the broken, the sick, the forgotten. And in doing so, she became a symbol of compassion to the world. Responsibility is not glamorous at first. It doesn't always feel rewarding. Sometimes it feels heavy. Sometimes it feels unfair. But responsibility transforms weakness into strength. It takes ordinary people and forges them into extraordinary leaders. Now, hear me, responsibility is not just about carrying the weight of big causes. It starts small. It starts in the way you handle your daily life, taking responsibility for your education, for your words, for your habits, for your time, taking responsibility for how you treat others, for the way you manage your resources, for the way you react when challenges come. These small responsibilities prepare you for larger ones. If you cannot be faithful with little, how can you be trusted with much? And this is why many never see their destiny fulfilled. They dream of greatness, they long for influence, they talk about vision, but they refuse responsibility. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the crown without the cross, the harvest without the planting. But destiny does not work that way. Destiny responds only to responsibility. So I say to you, stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for opportunities to knock. Take responsibility where you are, with what you have, right now. Because the moment you accept responsibility, you activate destiny. Think of responsibility as a key. Every door to your future is locked until you use the key of responsibility to open it. Without that key, you can see the possibilities, you can dream of the opportunities, but you will never walk into them. Responsibility unlocks the future. Responsibility says, I will not waste what I have been given. I will not bury my talent in the ground. I will use it, grow it, multiply it, and take care of it. And this is why responsibility is not optional. It is the very first step to destiny. Until you accept it, your potential remains a theory. But the moment you embrace it, your potential begins to breathe, to grow, to transform into reality. If you want to understand how greatness is truly formed, you must understand the role of pressure. Pressure is not your enemy. It is not the signal to quit. Pressure is the very environment in which strength is developed. Pressure produces strength. Think of the diamond. In its natural state, it begins as nothing more than black carbon, buried deep beneath the earth. To the untrained eye, it looks worthless, but under immense pressure and through intense heat, that carbon is transformed into one of the most precious stones in the world. Without the pressure, there would be no diamond. In the same way, your life's greatest treasures will not be formed in comfort. They are born in the heat of struggle and the weight of pressure. Too often, we pray for strength, but run from the very things that produce it. We ask for courage, but avoid the battles that build it. We want resilience, but despise the trials that shape it. But life has a way of teaching us this truth. The places of pressure are the very places where character is formed, vision is refined, and destiny is clarified. Look at the athlete. They do not become strong by sitting on the sidelines. They build muscle by putting their body under pressure, by lifting weight that stretches them beyond their limits. The weight is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Without resistance, there can be no strength. Without pressure, there can be no growth. Think of a mother giving birth. In that moment, the pressure is intense, the pain is real, the struggle undeniable. And yet, it is precisely in that moment of greatest pressure that new life comes forth. Pressure is not the signal of death, it is the signal that something new is about to be born. So when you find yourself under pressure, when the bills are high, when the job is uncertain, when relationships are breaking, when dreams feel delayed, don't see it as the end. See it as the environment where your strength is being forged. Because it is in those seasons that you discover what you are truly made of. History confirms this over and over again. Nations are not built in times of ease. They are built in times of crisis. Leaders are not revealed in peace. They are revealed in storms. Heroes do not emerge in comfort. They are forged in the fires of adversity. Every person you admire faced seasons of unimaginable pressure, and it was in those very seasons that their strength was proven. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison under the weight of injustice. That pressure could have broken him, but instead it shaped his resolve, deepened his vision, and prepared him to lead a nation into freedom. That strength was not born on a throne, it was born in a cell. Helen Keller, born deaf and blind, faced a life of pressure from the very beginning. Yet it was that pressure that awakened her perseverance and her hunger to learn, until she became an author, an activist, and a voice for millions. Her strength was not created by ease, it was forged by the pressure of limitations. And so it is with you. The pressure you feel today may not be pleasant. It may be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is not meaningless. That pressure is preparing you, strengthening you, shaping you into the person your destiny requires. Without it, you would not have the endurance to handle the weight of your future. Never forget, even the finest steel must be placed in fire to be purified. The process is not pretty, but the result is priceless. Your pressure is your fire. Your struggles are your furnace. And when you endure them with vision and faith, you come out not weaker, but stronger. So don't despise the pressure. Don't curse the struggle. Don't run from the challenges. They are not there to destroy you. They are there to build you, to strip away what is weak and to reveal what is strong, to test your foundation and to prove that you are capable of carrying the weight of your destiny. Pressure produces strength, and strength is what carries you through every storm, every trial, every valley, until you reach the mountain of your purpose. The future, my friends, is not handed out like an inheritance. It is not reserved only for the privileged, nor is it locked away for the chosen few. The future is not found, it is made, and it belongs only to those who dare to create it. The future belongs to creators. Think for a moment about the world you live in today. Every building you see, every invention you use, every system you depend on, every song you sing, every book you read, it all exists because someone refused to simply wait for the future to happen. They chose to create it. The chair you sit on, the device in your hand, the road beneath your feet, none of these were discovered. They were created by men and women who looked at what was and dared to imagine what could be. The Wright brothers looked at birds and dared to imagine machines that could fly. Thomas Edison looked at the darkness and dared to imagine light in every home. Steve Jobs looked at technology and dared to imagine a computer in every pocket. These people did not wait for the future to find them. They built it with vision, with discipline, with relentless perseverance. And because of them, our world is forever changed. But the story of creators is not reserved for history books or famous names. Look closer. The future is created every day by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. The teacher who sparks imagination in a child, she is creating the future. The father who breaks the cycle of poverty in his family, he is creating the future. The young woman who starts a business with nothing but an idea and a dream, she is creating the future. Every act of creation, no matter how small, plants a seed that grows into tomorrow. And this is why the future does not belong to those who sit idly by. It does not belong to those who complain, or those who envy, or those who wait for others to make the first move. The future belongs to the ones who rise each day with vision in their heart and courage in their spirit, the ones who look at empty spaces and see possibilities, the ones who dare to shape tomorrow with their own hands. But here is the truth. Creating the future requires responsibility, it requires sacrifice, and it requires faith. It means being willing to take risks when others play safe. It means believing in what does not yet exist, even when others laugh at your dream. It means pressing on when the path is unclear, trusting that each step you take in faith lays down the stones of tomorrow's road. The future belongs to creators because creators understand that time is a gift, not a guarantee. They don't waste it waiting for luck. They invest it building something meaningful. Creators understand that potential is not enough. Potential must be translated into reality through action. They don't simply dream of a better world. They roll up their sleeves and make one. Even the very story of human progress testifies to this. Civilizations rose because someone dared to build. Nations thrived because someone dared to lead. Generations advanced because someone dared to innovate. Every advancement of humanity is the footprint of a creator who refused to settle for what was and instead chose to shape what could be. And so I say to you today, stop waiting for the future to arrive. The future is not a date on a calendar. The future is not 10 years from now. The future is not something you walk into. It is something you create, starting here, starting now, with your choices, with your vision, with your courage. The future belongs to creators, to those who believe that life is not about finding yourself, but about creating yourself, to those who refuse to let circumstances dictate their destiny, to those who take responsibility, embrace the pressure, and turn it into strength, to those who see what is invisible and dare to make it visible. This is the truth of your destiny. Your tomorrow will be shaped by what you choose to create today. And when you understand this, you stop waiting, you stop blaming, you stop drifting, and you start building, you start designing, you start creating. Because the future is not waiting for someone else. The future is waiting for you. My friends, you have heard it said, you are not lost property, you are a creator. You have learned that greatness is not stumbled upon, it is created. You now know that responsibility is the very first step to destiny. You understand that pressure, though painful, is the process that produces strength. And above all, you see clearly that the future does not belong to the passive, the fearful, or the waiting. The future belongs to the creators. So what will you do with this truth? Will you return to the old patterns of waiting, searching, and blaming? Or will you rise up, take responsibility, and create the life and the future you were born for? The world is not waiting for another copy, another shadow, another lost soul searching for themselves. The world is waiting for you to create yourself, to create your destiny, to create a future that will outlive you. Do not settle for survival when you were made for significance. Do not drift through life as if tomorrow is promised. Do not wait for others to hand you meaning. Stand tall, pick up the tools in your hands and create. Because the truth is this: you were sent here not just to exist, not just to breathe, not just to pass time. You were sent here to build, to design, to shape, to transform. You were sent here to create yourself, and in doing so, to inspire others to do the same. And if you dare to believe it, if you dare to embrace it, if you dare to live it, then your life will become more than a story. It will become a testimony. A testimony that no matter where you begin, no matter what you face, no matter how heavy the pressure, greatness is possible. A testimony that when you choose to create, the world changes. So today, I leave you with this charge: don't just find yourself, create yourself. Because your destiny, your strength, your greatness, and the future itself depend on it.